Like, I'm pulling for Von Bell and Trey. Eli a little bit.
You might be wondering, why is this video so late? Well, between Tom Brady potential retirement rumors and Aaron Rodgers wanting to switch teams possibly, which is looking more and more likely, with Sean Payton deciding to step down as head coach of the New Orleans Saints, my hands have been kind of full, man. We dropped 3 videos yesterday in totality, so as a result, I wasn't able to get you guys this video until a bunch of members of Mike Mafia decided to blow up my Twitter notifications and my Instagram notifications, making sure that this video gets made. So before we get to the content, we're giving away $500 to one of my followers on Instagram. On top of that, we're giving away a subscriber that turns on our notifications on this channel $500 as well. Now that we get all that out of the way, Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? Guys, I remember the 2016 NFL draft really well because I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan and we absolutely crushed that draft. That's the draft that we got Dak and Zeke. Although, I'm gonna be honest, I originally wanted the Cowboys to take Jalen Ramsey in that NFL draft, a player that at the time was said to be not as good as Jalen Ramsey, but not too far off from Jalen Ramsey, was a prospect from Ohio State University by the name of Eli Apple. Now, you have to understand, Ohio State's secondary at the time was looking really good. They were churning out prospects like Marshawn Lattimore the year after. Malik Hooker also came out the year after. So Eli Apple was seen as a pretty solid prospect, and insiders were really hyping him up. If you want to see a video on the absolute worst draft takes by Mel Kiper, we'll leave that in the end screen for you as well. But in terms of Eli Apple, man, he was selected with the number 10 overall pick by the New York Giants, and for lack of a better way of saying it, he never filled that billing. He was never good enough to be the number 10 overall pick. As a matter of fact, he was consistently exposed when he was with the New York Giants. But it also didn't really start so well because the very moment this man got drafted, he was absolutely getting crushed in coverage, and it didn't seem to improve. After the 2016 season, he didn't really perform so well, and during the 2017 season, around December-ish, there was reports that Eli Apple and his teammates just weren't getting along with each other. Landon Collins even went as far as to say that Eli Apple was a cancer and shouldn't be on this team in 2018. Eli Apple would get suspended by the New York Giants for the 2017 season finale because he got into an argument with coaching staff about being asked to practice with the scout team and for a pattern of behavior that is conduct detrimental to the team. After that, the New Orleans Saints decided to trade for him. All they had to do was give up a 4th round pick and they would get to pair Eli Apple with Marshawn Lattimore and Von Bell. And Marshawn Lattimore, Von Bell, and Eli Apple all played in Ohio State University together, so maybe he would recapture some of that magic. Well, he would stay in New Orleans for 2 years, then he would sign a 1-year contract with the Panthers before finally signing with the Bengals this past offseason. Now, fortunately for him, the Cincinnati Bengals have been absolutely crushing it. Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and Joe Mixon have been crushing it for them offensively. The only thing that they really need help with is probably that offensive line. And defensively, you just look at this team and you have players like Mike Hilton making the plays that he does. You have Chidobe Awuzie, and then you have Eli Apple once again, and of course Trey Waynes and Vernon Hargreaves. A lot of players that didn't really catch on with their first team that were drafted very high up, like Hargreaves and Eli Apple, and even Chidobe Awuzie, who was a 2nd round pick, getting an opportunity on Cincinnati and actually performing fairly well. And as a result, it seems like Eli Apple was really feeling himself because he took to Twitter to start talking mess about his former teams, which is a very classy move to do when you consider the fact that Eli Apple was a notorious draft bust and still is a notorious draft bust. Hell, he hasn't even been performing that well this year. So this all went down on January 23rd, man, and Eli Apple just had a field day on Twitter. It started kind of mildly with Eli Apple quoting this scouting preview between the Bengals and Titans, saying how that worked out. Then he started getting a little ridiculous with it. He posted this infamous GIF of Richard Sherman after locking down Michael Crabtree. And then it's when it gets a little bit wild because he started trash talking Julio Jones. I'm not even kidding. The Pro Football Hall of Fame posted this tweet saying milestone for Julio Jones, who is the 5th player to record 50 receiving yards in 9 consecutive postseason games. games. And with the most class and dignity, we have Eli Apple quote tweeting this saying, "Where was he on the last play of the game on 3rd and 5? With the season on the line, that man was hiding." This started to cause a frenzy because you literally have a defense's worst player starting to talk mess for pretty much Joe Burrow's accomplishments. And this is no disrespect to the Bengals defense, it's just Eli Apple isn't that vital to the success of the Bengals defense, which is why it's so funny that he's talking trash. He continued to talk mess about the Titans, saying the homie real Logan Ryan was right. Titans fans, that stadium was real quiet at the end. Houday Nation took over from Jumper with the chants during the game. Now, it gets a little intense. Someone said to him, "Wow, the disrespect is crazy. Julio Jones is damn near a legend, so it's his fault he didn't get the ball thrown his way." And my man Eli Apple pulled out the thesaurus for this one, man, saying, "No, you incompetent moron. It's his fault or Vrabel's fault for not having him on the damn field on the biggest play of the game. Why is that so hard to comprehend?" He also starts adding Mike Vrabel at this point, saying all these weak beat writers need to ask this question because I am baffled. Where was Julio Jones towards the end of that game? At this point, you have even his own fan saying, "I am a huge fan of yours." Then says, "Please stop typing we won. Move on to the next target. This is petty and you're better than this. Love you, man." He then posts this video of the tipped interception from Ryan Tannehill, which kind of explains why he's feeling himself so much, because that was probably the most important play of the entire game. So now the victory lap is starting to make some sense. This is where it gets a little funny. Someone says Eli is getting all the revenge on this season from all he's taken over the years. I love the villain role. We on top. My man sounds like the Joker in this tweet. Being the hero is overrated. I'm here to terrorize cities and crush opposing wide receivers' dreams and hopes. Truly grateful to God for providing all he has for me. This isn't even the best part. He starts to go at each fan base that used to employ him. We just barely got through the fact that he is done talking trash to Julio Jones when he decided to tweet, "I don't know which fan base I hate more, probably the Saints, but it's close with the Giants. It's a toss-up." So he would obviously affirm the fact that the Bengals have the best fan base. And I think the best response to this is someone that damn near ratioed him, saying, "Because the Giants suspended you for conduct detrimental to the team and then traded you 2.5 years after drafting you, or the Saints saw you getting burnt weekly and declined your 5th-year option. Oh, it's not the teams, Eli. Oh, right. I'm just a sucker boy." A fan responds to him saying, "The feeling's mutual. What a waste of a draft pick." And then Eli responds saying, "When's the Giants playoff game start?" He wasn't done there. A Saints fan tweets at him saying, "How we sleep knowing that you aren't on our team anymore." And Eli Apple responds saying, "Who's your QB? You guys won't win for a while till you find a QB, and Coach Payton is gone." Bear in mind that this happened 2 days before Sean Payton said that he's leaving, so he kind of predicted the future here, but there were reports at the time that Sean Payton was considering leaving. He even took a shot at Jameis Winston. Someone said Jameis Winston's the future MVP, you're lucky we messed with Joe Burrow. And then Eli Apple said, "Not crab legs, hell no." I can't believe he called Jameis Winston crab legs. Devontae Smith isn't even on the Giants or on the Saints, but he pretty much is saying what most wide receivers are thinking. Every time I see Eli Apple one-on-one, I shake my head. Now, Eli Apple quote tweeted this saying, "Jalen Hurts is QB. He's big mad that he's still shaking his head." Eventually, he would go for the kill shot here, saying, "New Orleans is the dirtiest, smelliest city and has the worst food ever. It's that swine and crawfish that's killing your brains." So at this point, the man is literally just trolling. And it got so ridiculous that someone literally made a super gremlin Eli Apple diss. Fox New Orleans came out and said, "We're still trying to figure out how to replace your impactful 2 interceptions in 25 games played down here." And here's the best part. I didn't even think of this, but this Twitter account said it best. Eli Apple talking this much crap before a matchup against Tyreek Hill is a disaster waiting to happen. I legitimately had problems with this, but most athletes got highlights on YouTube, but not you. As soon as I search your name up, this is what pops up. So this entire situation is kind of annoying. I'm going to be honest. I'm not a fan of the Giants. I'm not a fan of the Saints. I do like Joe Burrow, but it's so annoying when a truly horrific player signs on to a team that is experiencing success and decides to go out and tweet out a storm before he's going up against one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. Make no mistake about it, man. Whenever a quarterback sees his wide receiver receiver on an island with Eli Apple, he's going to target that wide receiver. Eli Apple is a truly horrific cornerback. He's the weakness of the Cincinnati Bengals, if anything. But I guess the fact that he made an absolutely remarkable play when the Tennessee Titans faced off against the Cincinnati Bengals in the divisional round, I guess all of the confidence went to his head, and now you get what you got here. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think about all this, man. Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike. I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.